nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on tonight's agenda is the approval of minutes from sessions of October 17th, both the regular and executive sessions. A motion to approve as is. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Agenda item number 3 is public comment, and now would be the time for anyone in the audience to approach the podium to address the committee on any of the topics of tonight's agenda. And not seeing any takers on that portion of the meeting, we'll consider public comment closed and move on to item number 4, the superintendent's reports, and hear from the superintendent about all the items thereunder.
Thank you very much. 1 second while we get our tape recorder running. Are we good? Okay, thank you. The committee's approval tonight, I'd like to start with 2 of our principals, Ms. Battellaro, principal of the BB School, and Dr. Orm, principal of the Forestdale, to review their school improvement plan. So if we could start with Ms. Battellaro and the BB School.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This one?
It's on.
It's on. I have with me this evening Maura Donahue, my new assistant principal, K-4, and Jason Webster, our new 5-8 assistant principal, and members of my school council. Parent Kathleen Benoit, teacher Dave Legere, teacher Laurie Onofre, and teacher Kathleen Coy. Good evening, Mayor Howard, Dr. Jerussi, members of the school committee, and our student representative, Mallory McDonald, former BB student. I am here this evening with the BB school administrative team, my 2 assistant principals, Mrs. Maura Donahue and Jason Webster. All of you have received a copy of the BB School Improvement Plan. I know the plan has a great deal of statistics, goals, and action plans. We are here tonight to highlight where we are in achieving our school and district goal of raising student achievement and how we will carry out our school improvement plan. I left in front of you a little short summary of tonight's presentation. While you were out back, I left them right on your table. Okay. 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 The first page shows how we did in the MCAS. As we know, expectations are quite high. Yet, if you look at pages 2, 3, and 4 in the handout, you will see how our students are showing growth. These charts are generated through the Department of Education, analyzing our school's growth. The first chart compares our school to comparable schools in the state. And as you can see, we have made considerable growth. 50 is considered average. We have made a growth of 54%, 56% in ELA, and 63% in math. As the second and third chart shows our growth in ELA and math in comparison to the state's average. And as you can see, we are above the state average, and we want to continue to grow. Our plan, our current efforts include The BB School has joined the Mathematics Support Specialist Network. This network serves as a resource for developing strategies which focus on math performance for students with disabilities. The BB School is now in its second full year with Bay State Reading Institute. Bay State is an organization that assists with the professional development of teachers and administrators in all facets of literacy instruction and analysis of student performance. The BB School grade level teams and school leadership team continues to analyze current and previous student performance data, local, statewide, summative assessments. This data drives the development of teacher instruction with the goal of increased student learning. I mentioned that we want to continue to grow, and as you can see, we are growing. The kids are going in the right direction. Compelling empirical research shows that a positive and sustained school climate promotes academic achievement and healthy development. That will be a focus in our school this year. A major goal is to raise student achievement. We all know that. Our focus is on providing a safe and positive climate, motivating our students to acquire the skills needed for today's learner, and using what they have learned to be productive members of our communities. These are great transfer skills for our students. With this in mind, the following efforts are in place. We have the WADECO program, Side by Side, which focuses on personal and social responsibility. Our theme team this year, the theme is A Better Me, A Better BB, A Better Malden. We have the Parent Portal for X2, Parent Portal, where students can monitor their grades online and parents can support students. And we will focus on students' self-regulation. Students have a great deal to learn and teachers have a great deal to teach. Students, with the help of teachers, learn many strategies to help them understand and apply their new knowledge. We know kids need to learn, we know we can teach them a lot of strategies, but the key to student self-regulation is effort. And students need to put a great deal of effort into their schoolwork for learning to take place. It's hard. Schoolwork can be hard. Effort is a key component, and a key component of effort is motivation. They need to be motivated. Students will be motivated if they know they will be successful, they understand that what they are doing is important, and they know it is of value to them. Students then begin to take charge of their education. This is the positive school climate we want to create to carry out our school improvement plan. Education is important. It is truly the great equalizer. Any questions? I would be happy to answer them. Yes, Mr. Iavino.
Ms. Badalaro, I just want to tell you what a fine job that you and your staff have done, very complete, very, very thorough. I guess my question is a very broad and general one. You've stated that you're making progress, which of course you are, and you want to continue to move in that direction, and we want that for you. So my question is, what can we do, what can this committee do to help you, and the teachers at BB continue to make the progress that we all want you to make?
You can continue the great support you have shown us. You have supported a great deal of professional development for us. Of course, we need to make sure that we have the right interventions for our students. Our student population is always changing. This year alone, since September, we had 144 new students sent to the BB school, and 121 kids leave. So many times they come to us from various backgrounds, and we need to meet their needs. So sometimes staffing can be an issue, getting the right staff, the right interventions, and the right professional development so the teachers will have the latest and newest skills to work with the students.
Thank you.
Other questions on the report? Ms. Crowe?
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Valero. Great report, obviously. I just had a quick question on the next steps and the programs that you have in place. For the parent portal, that is on the district-wide website, so all schools really have use of that and should be promoting that. And just on the WADECO program, is that something that's unique to BB, or is it like a...
I believe Lyndon's Linden has it too.
Linden has it, so
Right, it's through a grant.
it's a grant, okay.
Right.
I'd love
Right.
some more information on that, because I think, really developing sort of the social, emotional kind of learner is really important, so I'm glad that you're pulling that into place too, so thank you.
It's a side-by-side, and they really learn a lot of personal, social responsibility, and they develop a certain words, they come up with words that they want to really enforce and carry out, like perseverance, empathy, respect. It's a great program, and we conduct it through the health class, too.
Thank you, great job, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Crowe. Mr. Winslow.
Yeah, a few questions. In terms of support, one of the questions I have is, we made the decision a couple years back not to have an assistant superintendent of curriculum. How has that impacted your efforts on school improvement plans? Do you see that as something important? Are you finding other ways to get what that superintendent is providing?
Right now, we have a good relationship with all our directors, and the directors have, we meet with them, they stop in at least once a month, and we work collaboratively.
So you're finding that you're getting what you need without having that position? And I'm just trying to get a sense of, is it a big...
We're making it work.
Making it work, okay, good. Another thing... Okay.
There's not much more we can, and
Right,
you want to
okay.
jump in, but it's just that when you're working we have directors for, all our departments, so when we work, many of them, when they come into my building, they may come, 2 or 3 may come together. So that's why we can tie the ELA and the reading, and sometimes math and science director will come.
Good. Another question I have, I know we passed a new wellness policy. There is some evidence out there in terms of physical activity as being one way to help improve student attentiveness and test scores. Anything that you're doing related to that, or improvements there, or?
Well, we do have a health program in school, and in grades 5 to 8, and we do have the PE classes, and through our theme, A Better Me, A Better Baby, Better Malden, we carry out the importance of good health.
And then I just had a question on page 10 about, there's sort of 4 components of looking at the MCAS, and one of it is, did the
Student group meet or exceed its own improvement target? Is that something that, thank you, that helps. Is that category, is that something that is set by the school council, or is that something that comes out of the, this is just sort of there's sort of an own target for student groups? Does that come out of this?
That's a change, that's from the Department of Ed, that's the change from the year before.
So in terms of that goal for that group, is that something Department of Ed is putting in place? Is that something, so that's a Department of Ed thing, not
That's Department of Ed, right.
coming out of the school council? I was just curious.
No, that's one of the 4 components.
Okay,
That
thank you very much.
AYP by either hitting the target or making a significant change from the year before.
No, I very impressive job here, and keep up the good work, so thanks. Great.
I couldn't do it without the great staff that I have and my brand-new assistant principals that are right there helping me at all times. They're creating the climate that we need, because we need the right environment, and they're doing it.
Thank you, Mr. Winslow. Mr. Staying up with Mr. Welda? Mr. Welda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Valaro, thank you very much. This is, as always, a very thorough, well-detailed plan.
Thank you.
A pleasure to look through. And good segue to both Ms. Donahue and Mr. Webster. Welcome to Malden. You're very lucky to be at the school that you're at with such a great mentor. I really wanted to, the one thing that stuck out here, and I just wanted to commend you on that, is in the action steps. You really took advantage utilizing a lot of the community resources, things like MATV, the Malden Observer, the Malden Public Schools Family Wiki Space. I love the ways that you plan on utilizing those and reaching out to the community. The only question that I had, and you mentioned it again answering Mr. Winslow's question, was I'm really curious to hear a little bit more about the theme, the Better Me, the Better You, BB, and how that's utilized throughout the building.
Every year, we have, we've been carrying out the theme since the schools first opened. And this year's theme is a better me, a better baby, a better Malden. So students know that if they do well, if they try hard, and they work together in good teamwork, it makes for a better school. And they develop good citizenship skills and social skills, it makes for a better community in the future. So they start now by being, they understand the importance of being a good citizen right now, and how everybody counts, everybody's important, everybody is valuable, everybody needs to help out. So that's the theme this year, is a better me, a better baby, a better Malden.
That's a good theme to impress on them. And do you think I mean, are you utilizing that in terms of, like, I guess that fits in really well with the WEDECO? And
that's why we did this year. This year was WEDECO. We're tying it in with WEDECO.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Weldon. Mr. Altrino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Valero, can you just give me your opinion on what your thoughts is, how effective, over the last 4 or 5 years, the committee has made a point, or I have as well, keeping math and science literacy coaches. How do you feel the importance of those coaches are?
I think they're very important, especially we have had literacy assistants and literacy coaches, and they've done a tremendous job. Do I think we need to keep math and science coaches? Definitely. I believe I read that 10 years ago, out of all the college degrees awarded, only 8% were in math and science. And we really need to develop an interest, we have to help kids develop an interest in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And in order to do that, we have to show an interest. Kids have to do well, and they have to be part of, there has to be an educational journey, and it can't start in junior year in high school. They have to develop an interest in math and science, at least by the middle grades, so they will take the required courses and be successful in those courses to want to go on to college in the area of STEM. And when you think about STEM and you think about those areas, there are many, many opportunities, employment opportunities at many different levels. And I believe that we need coaches in order to have our students be successful in those areas. We have to develop an interest.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Altrino. Mr. Duffy.
Ms. Valero, I have the pleasure of going with you to the BBPTO every month, so I've had the pleasure of hearing these stats before. Congratulations to you and your team, the teachers and the students on the great results. And it's only been a little less than 3 months, but the verdict is in. Ms. Donahue and Mr. Webster are excellent additions to the BB family, so welcome aboard and thanks again for what you've been doing. But I really want to tip my hat to you, Ms. Valero. The entire time I've been here, BB has been, in my opinion, the shining school in the entire district. And you are the, yes, I did say that. You are the consistent one with all of that. You create a learning environment there that just works so well. You see everyone rowing in the same direction, if you will. And so not only as one of 9 up here as a school committee person, but as a parent of a BB student and soon to be 2 BB students, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you, Ms. Valero. Staff members. Yeah.
Thank you.
This time I'd like to call up Dr. Orm.
Good evening. I did not bring my posse with me. I'm on my own up here. I also have a new assistant principal this year, Carrie Carpenito, who was the science coach for K-8, and Carrie is home sick, or nursing a sick family, that she's been doing now for about 4 days, I think. But hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. But she is made for a really smooth transition from Paul McCarthy, who had so many years of experience and so much expertise, to a little bit different approach, and yet one that's just been seamless. And so I feel very blessed to have her. What I've done with my report, what I would like to emphasize in any case, is something a little bit different than what I've done before, a little bit different than what Sue talked about. I started looking at trends. I wanted to look at how the school has done over the last 5 years and to see what kinds of changes, because one of the things that is, and I'm sure you all are well aware of this, is year-to-year changes, it goes up, it goes down. One year we make AYP in math, and next year we don't make it in math, but we make it in ELA. The next year we don't in ELA, we make it in subgroups, aggregate, it kind of goes up and down all the time. It can be very misleading and sometimes just hard to figure out quite what that means. So I looked at the data, and I looked at the CPI as one constant number to use. And the CPI, getting to 100, that magic number by 2014. And what I looked at was the school overall and how we compared both to the district and the state, but primarily here comparing to the state. And also looking at our subgroups. And in our school improvement plan, there are 5 goals. One is an overall ELA goal, one is an overall math goal, and then we had the 2 subgroups of special education and low income were focused on, and then the 5th goal was about parent involvement and awareness of the school. So what I focused on in looking at the trends is the overall school, as well as special education and low income, and I also broke it down by race because I was curious. I wanted to see how we were doing. So the data that I put together in these very pretty graphs, which are in the school improvement plan, I don't know if you have them in color or not, but they're in color in here, looks at 2007 to 2011. And certainly there are places where we have concerns, we always do, but there was some really good news in here too that was in some ways surprising to me. So looking over the 5 years, excuse me, and I'm focusing particularly on math, although I did this data for both ELA and math, because math has for us always been the more challenging area, and where we've had less growth and had more, especially for special education students, needed to do more. And so, for example, over the 5 years, we had a gap between the state and the school of 17.1 points in 2007. And that gap is now 2.8 points, so we've shrunk it quite a bit. In grades 3 and in 8, we actually surpassed the state. So the CPI at our school is now higher than that of the state in grades 3 and 8. And this is in mathematics. And that was something that surprised me. I didn't expect to see that. For special education students, that's definitely still the most challenging area, and we have not made as much growth as we would like to. It's a continual challenge. It also changes year to year because our cohorts are very small. Being a smaller school and the number of special education students varies from year to year. It only takes a change of a couple of students to drastically change what the percentages look like. So you have to, that caveat has to be included. But since 2007, the CPI has gone up 23.7 points, up to 54.9. And while that's nothing to write home about, we're now within 1 point of the state, and we were far behind the state. So we've actually grown quite a bit more than the state has over those years, so that we're now practically equal. So special education students aren't doing well anywhere. It's part of the message from that. And the gap also between special education and regular education students shrank, although not enough, but it shrank from 33 points to 25.7 points. I also looked at cohorts, but again, I looked to see how the same cohorts, so for example, a group that was in 3rd grade one year, how did they do in 4th grade the following year? And for special ed students, the data is not very meaningful. There were places went up and down, but again, because the numbers are so small, for example, in one group, there were only 2 students who were in the same cohort when they were in 3rd grade as to when they were in 8th grade. Only 2 of the students were the same ones. So that data isn't really particularly helpful to look at. For low-income students, over the period of 5 years, we increased 28 points up to 73.5. And so we not only closed the gap, but we surpassed the state we surpassed the state CPI by 8 points. That's for the school as a whole. So for low-income students, we're 8 points ahead of the state overall. And the gap between low-income and non-low-income students went from 20.4 points to 3.6 points. So our low-income students are now very close to non-low-income students. And there actually were some areas, some tests and grades where they surpassed non-low-income students, and I'm not sure why exactly, but it was interesting to see that. I think it has something to do with just the individual students that happen to be in those groups. For African-American students, we increased 23.8 points. We had a deficit of, I'm not sure, I'm not sure what the gap was in 5 years ago between us and the state, but we are now 5 points ahead of the state for African-American students. And for Hispanic students, we increased 19 points, and overall are now 10.5 points above the state. So those are some real successes that I feel like is often missed when we just look at from one year to the next and look at how many are proficient, how many are in warning. Even given that, though, what we, in looking at the data, concluded was that while we've moved a lot of students out of the warning category, what we have not done well enough at is getting more students into the advanced. We have quite a few getting to proficient. We have a lot coming out of warning into needs improvement, including a lot of special education students. But we still don't have many students at the advanced level, and we should have a lot more. And so that's an area where we're really working on pushing the expectations for the students, trying to raise the expectations higher for everybody, so that part of that process will be that the students who kind of get by just doing okay will do actually a lot more because they're capable of doing a lot more. And it means working harder, it means doing more rewrites on work, that sort of thing. And we are definitely getting some pushback from some of the students and from some parents, because the expectation is that they're having to do more work. But that's one of our goals for this year, is to improve so that we have more students at the higher level. I would say overall the biggest challenge, we're really trying to work on, as I said, on the math. We do okay with ELA. We have supports for ELA. We have a full-time literacy coach, as you know. We have 2 literacy assistants who do provide interventions for the classes through 5th grade. We don't have anything like that for math, and we have only a part-time coach because there are 3 for the whole district. So math is much more of a challenge. We also lost several of our special education paraprofessionals this year, so we don't have them for support either. So we have a lot more students who are in class and don't have the support in the classroom that we have had in the past. Last year we had the Citizen Schools Fellows, and they worked in grades 4 to 8 in the classroom, and